Okay, so update on my life. Because it's my life, the update is always fucked up. Had not so much the police at my door today, but people who apparently work with the police. I think they work for some organization called Prevent, and they gave me this sheet here, which says official family and friends fact sheet supporting people vulnerable to radicalization. Please note this fact sheet has been produced by Police Scotland, Prevent Delivery Unit North, and is based on guidance issued for Channel and has been adapted for use in Scotland. So, why did I get this? Well, because as a lot of you are probably already aware, free speech is under attack. Well, let's say if there was someone who seemed a risk to society and people thought that they were going to commit crimes, I would probably, and I'm sure a lot of people would probably judge the police if they didn't attempt to intervene whatsoever. So, you look at someone like Rudu Cabana. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name properly, but he, killed 3 children and injured a bunch of others. And I think I read that in the past, he had gone to someone saying, "What do you do if you feel like murdering someone?" Because he was being bullied. And people, whenever someone commits a horrendous act, everyone's always looking at it. And they're always thinking, oh, what could have been done to prevent such a thing? Well, clairvoyance would be a good one. And if we're going to be honest, when it comes to the police, it's all well and good for everyone to say, oh, you should have done more. But it's like you don't know. Because how many people have thought about killing someone before? More than we'll admit, if we're going to be perfectly honest with ourselves. It's just the majority of people don't actually act upon it. You get all pissed off and you say, oh, I'm going to fucking kill that person. You don't actually mean it. And then what happens is, if someone actually does kill someone, it's like, well, were there ever any warning signs? It's like, well, yeah, he used to say he was going to kill someone. And then everyone's like, why did the police not do anything? Well, they didn't do anything because they thought that person was part of the majority of people who, when they say that they're going to kill someone, they're just mouthing off. It's just big talk. You don't actually mean that shit. So, if I post stuff online, apparently I end up being given a fact sheet on how to prevent myself from being radicalized. And I was reading through it, but I thought, this is probably as good a time as any to create a new YouTube video. So I thought I'd read through it with you guys. I read some of it, but I'll read not necessarily all of it because I can't be bothered, but why have I been given this fact sheet? You've been given this fact sheet because a family member or someone you care for has been referred to the Prevent. You may be wondering what the Prevent program is and what will happen next. This fact sheet is designed to provide you with information on how the Prevent process can help and support you, your friend or family member. An example of some thoughts you may have. When I was told about the referral, I was angry. I felt that it was all being blown out of proportion. I later realized he was at much more of a risk than I first thought. You have a key role within the Prevent process. It's by working together that we can help protect people that are at risk of being radicalized and coming to harm. We understand you might be feeling worried, but every year we help and support thousands of people just like you who are concerned about a friend or loved one and want them to receive the help they need to turn things around before the problem gets worse. Remember, it is how we support people and deal with their vulnerabilities and... Oh my god, right, first things first. I don't know why they've written it like this. It looks like they're using like an aligned right format. So look at where it stops. It stops at and, right there. And over here, You have a key role within the prevent process. You see that? After it says process, it says it's, but there's no full stop. So apparently they've put a lot of thought and effort into this, but they've not really cared to use proper full stops and shit. Here you go, here's a picture. Now that picture, that's certainly helpful. Look at that. Is someone close becoming a stranger? I don't know. Another thing I would like to mention, it says at the start, you have been given this fact sheet because a family member or someone you care for has been referred to the prevent. Well, no, that's not true. This doesn't even apply to me. I've been referred to prevent because they're afraid I'm going to become radicalized. Is that a bad thing? Or is that just them saying that I'm radical? Say, oh man, you're radical, bro. That was a killer 360 kickflip you just did there, bro. Radical. Maybe that's what they're afraid I'm going to become. They're thinking I'm so fucking awesome. And they're all just totally jelly. What is radicalization? Radicalization refers to the process by which a person comes to support any terrorism, offending, or the extremists. Ideologies associated with terrorist groups. Oh my God. I'm actually having difficulty reading this because the punctuation is so fucking terrible. Look at that. Look at that. Can you see that? Right, where is it? After extremists, where my finger is, right, there's a full stop. And then it says, what does it say? Ideologies. Jesus Christ. This is kind of depressing. I mean, I am kind of being finicky, but fucking hell. It could be that the person concerned has fallen under the influence of an extremist groomer or radicalizer whose intention is to draw or coerce their targets towards activities and situations that can cause serious harm and at the very least fall foul of the law. Okay? I just want to clarify something. The guys that came to my door today seemed nice enough, and I do respect that. Like, if they're trying to prevent people from becoming radicalized, that's a good thing. I'm glad such organizations exist. It's just like I'm not trying to make fun of these guys. It's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to make light of this a little because it is kind of funny. And I should point out though that I don't think I'm at risk of being radicalized or like groomed or anything like that. I'm a 33-year-old man, goddammit. I think, I don't know if people are, I think I'm past the age at which people would like to groom me, okay? The aim of prevent is to provide early intervention and support to stop this from happening. And if you look here, it looks like what they're trying to prevent is trying to prevent people from playing video games. Because as we all know, that is how terrorists get you. You could be playing Super Mario Kart and then before you know it, you're a member of ISIS. This can happen face to face, or even more likely in these times, it can happen across the internet, be it through social media, chat rooms, or even online gaming platforms. Ah, there you go. Yeah, that's how they get you. Yeah. Gonna get you for your fucking Fortnite or whatever. Fucking Minecraft terrorism. Can you build yourself a fucking bomb or on Minecraft? That's a dead fucking red flag there. I have no idea what Minecraft or Fortnite is. I'm really stretching myself. Radicalization is a process, but just how long this process takes varies from person to person and depends largely upon their personal circumstances, any complex needs they may have, and wider vulnerabilities. If we identify a potential problem early enough, we can intervene at that stage and support the people concerned away from the dangerous and hurtful path they're on. Remember, this is all about partners working together with individual and tailoring support to ensure that people know that this can be stopped and help is out there. That is the part where I don't agree with at all. Because my views, I don't think they're going to change any of my fucking views. If I live a life of social isolation and the people who reject me, I think, okay, well, if you don't want to hang out with me, then fuck you bastards. I don't mean you any harm, but fuck you all. It's like I meant to say, okay, these people don't want anything to do with me, but I've got to be okay with that. Well, yeah, not so much. I'm not really okay with it. I refuse to be like coerced into acting like I am okay with it, because I'm really not. Extremism. Although there is no singular definition of extremism within UK law, when people have strong opinions, these could become extreme. People who have certain beliefs about politics or religions which are hateful, dangerous, or against the law are often known as extremists. This harmful behavior is called extremism. Right, okay. So this is there's a two-way, it's not a two-way street, it's a one-way street. So let's say if you've got, like, people of a certain religion who will strap bombs to themselves and then blow themselves up. That is extremism, as we all agree. However, if people point out which religion it is that's responsible for that, that would also probably come under the category of extremism. So how does that work? Now, I understand the majority of, I am talking about Muslims, I will say Muslims. Majority of Muslims aren't terrorists, but the people who are blowing themselves up are terrorists. One thing I would like to point out, though, and this is what radicalists do. So that Rudy Banner guy, right? The guy that killed those 3 kids, apparently was going around Facebook saying that he was an illegal immigrant who had come to the UK on a little boat, and he was a Muslim. So why did people lie? Well, because they know that in order to create chaos, you have to press the right buttons. There's a lot of people in this country that don't like immigrants, especially illegal immigrants. There's a lot of people in this country that don't like Muslims, especially terrorists. So if you got some guy who looks foreign and you say, oh yeah, he came on a wee little boat and then he killed these kids, he shouldn't have been in the country, he was also motivated by Islam, and it's gonna be the difference between people being upset, which understandably they would be if children have been murdered. There's a difference between people being upset and people rioting in the fucking streets. Now, I only learned about the Rudy Banner thing recently, because when it comes to shit like that on the news, I don't want to know. People go, oh, did you hear what happened to those young girls? I don't want to know. I don't want to know what happened. That sounds like it's fucked up. Don't tell me. But people keep bringing it up and bringing it up and bringing it up and bringing it up and bringing it up. So eventually you end up thinking, okay, I'll Google to see what the hell happened. And yeah, I only found out about it a few days ago. But yeah, that guy, he was black. His parents were foreign, but they came to the UK, I want to say in 2002. Double check that. And he was born maybe 2007, if my math's correct. But once again, double check that. He was 17 at the time, 18 now, I believe. And he was born in the UK, so he was British. And his parents were Christian, so he wasn't Muslim. So that's kind of how radicalists work. But I don't know. That was not an example of Islamic terrorism. You have to admit that. That was not Islamic terrorism. But one other thing I would like to point out. So how do you join the dots? Adam Lanza, he was autistic. That Davison guy, the Plymouth shooter, he was autistic. This guy, Rudy Cabana, autistic. Now, I think autism is largely a lie. I think people that are diagnosed with autism have real problems. For instance, they could have sensitivity to certain sound, they could have problems with social interaction. But I think a lot of these people that come under that category of autism, they have completely separate conditions that are just treated as if they're the same condition. They're largely just treated as if you're eccentric enough, okay, you're autistic. That's their definition. And if you ask yourself, so imagine if, I'll give an example of a pathway. Let's say you've got the primary and secondary traits. So let's say if someone has a genetic predisposition to have social anxiety, now what's that going to do? That's going to lead them to avoid social situations. if you avoid social social situations, you don't get the same experience of social interaction that enables you to develop certain social skills, that enables you to fit in. So the process of being normalized is when you recognize that there are group norms, you mirror the group norms, and then you end up internalizing those group norms so that you're not simply acting, you are actually, it's internalized, it's now part of who you are, it's part of your identity. And if you have social anxiety to such an extent that you will end up not being part of that process, not having that same exposure to that process, you're going to end up weird, which will end up leading to the secondary traits that are associated with autism, such as eccentricity. Now, there's a variety of ways in which people can be eccentric, and there's a variety of reasons for why people can end up being socially isolated. But social isolation is probably a large part of why you see these shootings, of why you see these killings. People that aren't part of society and they're really pissed off, but I don't know. It's so much easier scapegoating the Muslims or the immigrants, but that's probably the real reason. So you look at why it is that people are pissed off, it's because they've been rejected by society. Does that make it okay, what they're doing? No, it doesn't make it okay. But, you know, you make your own fucking enemies, man. Right. So, extremism. And I wasn't going to do a video on Ruta Cabana because I thought, I don't know, I don't really want to get myself in more trouble, but, you know, these things kind of insist upon themselves sometimes. If people are going to be coming to your door saying, hey, you better not do this, you better not do that. I'm not trying to get fucking arrested. It's just, I care about free speech. So, although there is no singular definition of extremism within UK law, when people have strong opinions, these could become extreme. People who have certain beliefs about politics or religions which are hateful, dangerous, or against the law are often known as extremists. This harmful behavior is called extremism. I think I just read this actually. So, next page. How much more have we got left of this? A little bit more. What is to prevent multi-agency panel PMAP process? So, PMAP is part of the PREVENT program. The overall aim of the PMAP process is early intervention and diverting people away from the risks they may face. Sponsored by Monster Energy Drink. No, that's actually not true. They're not sponsoring me. They're giving me no money. Fuck them. I'm gonna end up getting a cease and desist order from Monster Energy Drink now. So, PMAP is part of the PREVENT program. The overall aim of the PMAP process is early intervention and diverting people away from the risks they may face. PMAP is a voluntary program which safeguards people identified as vulnerable to being radicalized or drawn into terrorism. It is a multi-agency process involving partners from the local authority, the police, education, health providers, and other organizations. Participating in and receiving support for the PMAP process doesn't give that person a criminal record and won't be shared as part of any criminal record check. Information about referrals is shared with the partners involved in providing support. It is on a need-to-know basis. Information will be held by partners, but this information is subject to robust management and will not be routinely shared. I imagine this kind of thing would come up if I was given an enhanced disclosure, but I'm not sure about it. Maybe it wouldn't. Who knows? I'm long-term unemployable anyway, so I really don't give a fuck if this becomes public knowledge. I mean, oh yeah, right. No one needs to know this, but I'm making a video about it, so does it make a fucking difference now? I really don't give a fuck. I mean, it's kind of like in keeping with my vibe anyway. If I'm going for like an edgy, bad boy type vibe, then I don't know, I kind of want people to know this shit because it's awesome. How does PREVENT multi-agency panel PMAP work? When a case is assessed as being suitable for PMAP, a multi-agency meeting will be called. This is called the PREVENT multi-agency panel PMAP. If the PMAP panel make a decision that they can help safeguard or support the referred individual, they will then inform the person and gain their consent before any intervention can take place. Support provided through PMAP is totally voluntary on the part of the recipient. PMAP panels will seek consent from adults referred to PMAP or from the parent carer when it is a child under 18 who has been referred. It is important to understand that consent can be given or withdrawn at any stage. The PMAP panel works with local partners to develop an appropriate tailored support package. The type of support available is wide-ranging. This can include help with education or career advice, dealing with mental or emotional health issues, drug or alcohol abuse, and theological or ideological mentoring from a Home Office approved intervention provider, a specialist mentor. Support package is monitored closely and reviewed regularly by the PMAP panel on a monthly basis. Do engage with the PMAP process. They are there to help and keep your children safe. There you go. Keep your children safe. Support plans. Sometimes people need help with areas of their life that can make them more vulnerable to radicalization. Like if you go to the store to get like a pint of milk or something, and then like you get accosted by ISIS, and they're trying to like get you to join, or like if you're doing laundry, and then like neo-Nazis show up and they say, "Oh, don't do your laundry because that's what the Jews want," or you're like, I don't know. Going to work, you're driving to work, and then it's like a KKK rally, and they're burning crosses, and they're asking you if you want to play with them, and you go, "No, my mother said I'm not allowed to play with the KKK." It's a problem we all face on a day-to-day basis. These people trying to radicalize us when we're just going about trying to do our day-to-day chores. So. This could include help with drink or drug abuse, or more practical things like applying for educational courses or helping with housing issues. Family and other people affected by the plan will be involved and encouraged to provide support to the adult child where appropriate. I've got a feeling that this, generally speaking, is like a service for kids. But because I have a diagnosis of autism, it's like they think I'm retarded. I think that's what this is. Like that girl that joined ISIS and then went back in the country and they said no. I think that's what they fear of me. So, the support will be continually monitored to ensure its effectiveness and the person is benefiting from the help provided to best meet their needs. The support he got from the intervention provider and prevent case officer really helped him to turn around, and I'm so proud of what he has achieved. What is an intervention provider? Intervention providers are ideological and theological specialists approved and trained by the Home Office. They possess a high level of understanding of extremist narratives and provide one-to-one mentoring. They play an important role in the interventions process by supporting and engaging directly with individuals. Intervention providers will challenge theological or ideological concerns that are raised, working to reduce the vulnerabilities and risk posed through professional engagement. They are a subject matter expert that can have thought-provoking discussions with individuals and can provide support in dealing with the views and the impact. Okay. So what they're going to do is they're going to arm wrestle me. And if I lose, that means I'm not allowed to be a terrorist. But if I win, that means they have to be terrorists. I don't know. I have no idea what the fuck that image is meant to be. Oh, that's the radicals seizing you. They're seizing you by the hand and they're taking you in. That's probably what's going on there. What happens next? They reach through the fucking screen like that bitch from The Grudge and then just try to drag you into fucking ISIS. That's what they do. Oh, I just said bitch. Oh no, misogyny. She was a fucking bitch. She kept killing everyone. What happens next? A PMAP panel member will be there to support you through the process as we recognize the impact that this may have on you, as well as a person referred to prevent. The PMAP panel member could be from one of the many agencies that work together to provide support. As each case is formed to meet the needs of the individual concerned, the nature and duration of the support offered by the Prevent PMAP is not fixed and entirely dependent on the well-being and progress of the individual. However, PMAP is a voluntary process, and although we encourage anyone within the program to stick with it, they may always withdraw if they wish. Is a good friend coming under a bad influence? We will keep you updated throughout and encourage you to share your views or any concerns you may have. At the end of the program, you will be given a final update together with details about how you can seek further support if you would like it. We have attached a list of organizations, websites, and support groups that can assist you. Right, this is my prediction. This is all a bunch of flowery language, and I'm pretty sure that... So these guys, right, what they're saying is that they're going to help me to not be radicalized. But I bet it's a situation, because I'm always encountering these situations where someone assumes that they're right, and they think that I'm arrogant. And it's like, okay, well, if I'm wrong, then convince me. But the irony is it's the other way around. They're absolutely convinced that they're right. And they never actually give me any fucking reason to think that I'm wrong. They don't explain to me that I'm wrong. I refuse to get my hopes up over this service because it never amounts to anything. I think it's just going to be a bunch of sessions, and then afterwards they'll be like, okay, go fuck yourself. Where can I get further help and support? There's lots of information and advice on the site from members of the public that can help you keep your friends and family safe from radicalization and access support. So this is largely just a list of contacts that you can phone, more contacts, like resources. And the final page is what is contest, prevent, and PMAP. Contest is the government's strategy on terrorism. Part of that is called prevent. Part of prevent is a panel called PMAP, Prevent Multi-Agency Panel. The panel, chaired by a local authority, talk about safeguarding you from all forms of terrorism and considers providing you support at an early stage based on your vulnerability to being drawn into terrorism or supporting terrorism. Key things to know. Support is offered only where there have been concerns regarding possible vulnerability and being drawn into radicalization, terrorism, or extremism. Information about you that is relevant to supporting you or assessment of any risk of radicalization will be shared with the panel. This may include information regarding your family, peers, or associates. Any support, for example, use of a mentor or referral to other services, are completed with your informed consent. The Home Office Data Privacy Information Notice provides details of how this data is processed. All information is held securely in accordance with the General Data Protection Regulations 2018 and Data Protection Act 2018. All sessions with Home Office accredited intervention providers are confidential in nature. A report will be provided to the local authority, PMAP chair, following sessions with you to advise on the ongoing risk of radicalization. Should a risk of harm be identified, this will be disclosed to the PMAP and the individual's parent or guardian as appropriate. Other specific details will not be routinely shared outside of a general overview unless you agree to this being shared. And that's that. That's the end of it. So, some things that I don't understand now. So that Davison guy, the Plymouth shooter, one thing I don't understand about him is that he goes on social media and basically tells people that, like, he gives people loads of indications that he's off his fucking rocker. Why would you do that? You're thinking, like with me, if I was going to do anything, I'm not going to post a bunch of shit online. So the very fact that these people know stuff that I said online indicates that I'm harmless. If I was going to do anything, why the fuck would I put loads of evidence online? That makes no sense whatsoever. It's like, that's amateur hour. So, I don't know. I could maybe give this service a try, but I honestly don't want to waste their time. They seem like decent enough people. They seem like they're probably doing fairly decent work. It's just, like, do I really just want to go there to debate them because I've got nothing else better to do? Like Ali Sheedy from the Breakfast Club just showing up to fucking detention even though she didn't do anything wrong and wasn't meant to be there. I don't know. Maybe I will. But I can't imagine I'm going to stay there for that long. Because I do think it's a waste of time. But in order to avoid people saying that I am refusing the help that's being offered to me, I'll probably speak to them. But when they came today, I was actually having my last call for distress brief intervention that I had. So it was my 4th call. I'm telling them I kind of got a call, but they just kept talking for like 20 minutes. But I really don't see what the problem is. So I could post comments about women that are valid. So let's say if I ask a woman out and she doesn't want to go out with me because I don't have a job, why is that a problem? It's like, well, if you don't have a job, then that means you don't have any money. Okay, that's interesting. So basically, you're saying you don't want to fuck me because I don't have any money. Nope, that's not what I'm saying at all. That's not what I'm saying. Well, it kind of is. That seems a little bit whorish, if you ask me. Maybe not an actual whore, but, you're something close to it. So if you point that out to people, that there are guys out there that can't get laid, and that sucks. So there's these guys out there that are saying, okay, I'm involuntarily celibate. And I empathize with them. Now, when they're talking about things like raping women, I'm against that. I don't think they're actually pro-rape. I think the majority of them are just saying that because they're talking big and they're all horny and pissed off. I don't think they actually mean that. I really don't know. I don't go on incel forums, just like I don't go on neo-Nazi forums, if they exist. But I'll make jokes. I'll make jokes about neo-Nazis. I'll make jokes about incels. And then people go, oh my God, he made a joke about neo-Nazis. He must be a neo-Nazi. No. He made a joke about incels. He must be, believe in the incel philosophy. Come on, really? Let's take Christians, for instance. How many Christians are there in the world? Do you think they believe in the literal interpretation of the Bible? Of course they don't. Most of them don't. Well, every single Christian, every self-identified Christian believes in the story of Noah's Ark. They believe in the story of the talking snake, in the Garden of Eden. They believe in the Tower of Babel. Come on. A lot of these people that say they're Christian, they don't actually believe in that. And it's a similar thing with incels. Like, you might get these people to say they're an incel, meaning they're involuntarily celibate. But that does not mean they believe in every single idea that's associated with the incel movement. So as soon as you say, I'm an incel, they go, oh my God, you must want to commit crimes against women. I think echo chambers are dangerous. So if there are these people who are on incel forums and they're surrounded by a bunch of other people that are kidding, and that particular person's a moron, and they don't realize that they're kidding or that they're venting. Like if you've just broken up with your girlfriend and you say all women are bitches, or you've just broken up with your boyfriend and you're like all men are bastards, right? That's what people do. You get pissed off at the opposite sex when things aren't going well for you. But if you've got a forum where there's a bunch of people who are perpetually single, and so they're kind of in that mindset for long periods of time where they're thinking, I can't stand the opposite sex. The majority of those people will probably end up getting girlfriends or getting married at some point, and they'll move on with their lives. But there'll be a subset of them who will be in amongst it, and then they will think to themselves, okay, everyone else seems to think this, so it must be true. And they end up getting this sense of validation for all of their views, all of their beliefs. And everyone else is just kidding. So that can be dangerous. But if a woman rejects you, and this is the argument that I would use. Let's say there is a woman who asks a guy out, and the guy says he doesn't want to go out with her. The woman says, why not? And he says, because you're too fat. Would that woman have a right to hate that guy for saying that? And imagine if there's a high proportion of guys that would not want to go out with this woman because she's too fat. Does she not have a right to hate these people that would reject her because she's too fat? I think she does. So let's say if you're a guy and women reject you for whatever reason, a whole list of reasons. You don't have a car, you don't have a job, you don't have a house, you're not tall enough, you're not good looking enough, I don't think you're very funny. I think you're boring. Whatever reasons it might be. Now, you can respect her right to choose. But are you honestly telling me that in addition to her having the right to reject you, you don't have, that she's also got the right to not have people pissed off at her because of that rejection? That's a right of yours. As a guy, if a woman rejects you, it's your fucking God-given right, to use a turn of phrase, to think she's a bitch. You're allowed to do that. And if you feel like the majority of women would reject you, that's also your right to think that women are fucking bitches. You think, you know what, they don't want me, but fuck women, they're all fucking bitches. And I don't see a problem with that. I don't care. As long as you leave women be, as long as you're not assaulting them, you're not fucking attacking them, why are you not allowed to hate them? Well, that's the thing. You're saying that people can constantly tell you that you're not good enough, and on top of that, you've got to be fine with it. Fuck that shit. So, I don't know. This video has been fairly long, but that is an update on my life today. I don't know, maybe I'll give you some more updates if anything else happens. But it will probably, it no doubt will be just another incident of nothing has happened, but people think it might someday, because I've not done anything. What have I done? Since like the fucking people came to my door because they thought I had a fucking gun, because people can't tell the difference between a gun and a cane. Right? What have I done since then? Fuck all. Okay? How come, if I'm such a fucking threat, how come I've spent all of this time without harming anyone? Really? Nothing's changed. I still have the same fucking views, but I still have no intention to fucking do anything. I'm not gonna do anything. Why are you people so fucking sensitive? It's fascinating, because I can speak to someone online, they don't like me, they block me. Huh, that's interesting. So what am I going to do? I can't even harass people. I haven't been, but even if I wanted to, I can't, because they block me. If too many people report me on a particular app, which is just a rebranding of a computer application, by the way, which is totally fucking lame, but that's another subject. People ban me on an app. I can't use that app anymore. So it's kind of difficult to harass people if I'm not allowed to use any of these fucking apps. I was using this mental health forum and I got banned within like a few hours. Do I care? Not really. Because it just proves my point. That's what actually happens when you reach out for help. I think it might have been that mental health forum that reported me. Once again, if I was actually going to do anything, if I had something to hide, I would not have put my name and my address on that fucking application form. For that registration form, for a username on that forum. I would not have done that. Okay? But whatever. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll maybe see you soon.